Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at, well, a real turning point. AI isn't just some experimental tool anymore.
No, not at all.
It's basically becoming the core plumbing, the infrastructure for how we do business, how consumer life actually functions.
Right.
We're tracing this huge shift, from cool lab project to absolutely mission-critical operations. Everything from these enormous hardware deals to physical robots, and it's all converging right in your shopping cart, even your email inbox.
That's a perfect way to put it. Our mission for you today really is to pull together these different sources that show just how incredibly fast this AI scaling is happening.
It feels exponential.
It really does. And it's not just tweaking things, it's full-on operationalization. We're seeing like this convergence of massive multi-trillion-dollar potential investments in raw computing power translating directly into how you shop, how companies work.
Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe starting with the engine itself. The literal hardware powering this whole thing, this infrastructure arms race.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The numbers involved are just mind-boggling. They almost stop making sense when you look at companies like OpenAI.
Right, that $1 trillion goal.
Exactly. They're running on maybe $13 billion in annual revenue right now, give or take.
Okay.
Yet they're openly talking about aiming for a $1 trillion valuation within 5 years.
How is that even possible?
Well, that massive gap is pretty much entirely fueled by one thing: infrastructure spending. They're essentially building their own private, huge proprietary cloud just to run their models.
Wow. That sounds like an absolutely colossal financial gamble. I mean, what happens if they don't hit that $1 trillion number? Does this level of spending just force them to demand total control over their entire supply chain?
That's precisely the logic, yeah. They have to control their own destiny. Because look at the deals they're signing. They dwarf the infrastructure budgets of, established tech giants.
So what kind of scale are we talking?
We're looking at commitments adding up to over 26 gigawatts of computer capacity.
26 gigawatts.
Yeah. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's roughly the annual energy generation of a whole country, maybe like Ireland, all dedicated just to training these frontier AI models.
That's genuinely staggering. It makes the financial stakes incredibly real. Okay, so where is all that power, that 26 gigawatts, actually coming from?
It's coming from these huge multi-year, multi-vendor deals. So they've committed to 10 gigawatts of custom AI accelerator hardware from Broadcom. That's rolling out over the next few years, like 2026 to 2029.
Think a big chunk there.
Plus another 6 gigawatts of chips coming from AMD.
Right.
And then the one that got all the headlines, their agreement with NVIDIA. We're talking a $100 billion investment commitment for future hardware tied to another 10 gigawatts of their chips.
I remember seeing reports, too, about this alleged, $300 billion cloud deal with Oracle. Is that part of this?
It fits the pattern perfectly. When you add it all up, the strategic insight is clear. The biggest AI players are actively, trying to move away from relying solely on traditional cloud providers like AWS or Azure.
So they're building their own power base, essentially.
Precisely. They're building their own closed-loop infrastructure. They just can't afford to be locked into the pricing or the availability constraints of using third-party clouds when they're operating at this kind of massive scale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is why you see them signing these mega deals directly with the hardware makers like NVIDIA and AMD and dedicated partners like Oracle.
Okay, so that sets up the giant engines, the mega clouds. But you mentioned this power isn't just staying locked away in some far-off data center. It's actually coming down to the user level, like bringing the supercomputer to your desk.
Exactly. NVIDIA's DGX Spark is probably the best example of that right now.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's this compact unit, small enough to run on just a standard power outlet.
Okay.
Yet it delivers a petaflop of AI performance.
A petaflops, that's a million billion calculations a second, right?
That's it. But the really key thing, the spec that matters, is it can handle these really sophisticated AI models, up to 200 billion parameters locally.
200 billion parameters. That sounds very technical. For someone listening, what can you actually do with that kind of local power that you couldn't do before on your regular laptop?
Right. Good question. It means you can run really large, highly capable models, think Llama 3, maybe Mixtral, completely on that machine, locally.
So no cloud needed for processing.
Exactly. You can process incredibly complex data sets. You could fine-tune models on your own private company data, do some really advanced AI development without ever sending sensitive information out.
I see.
It basically moves serious AI experimentation out of the big corporate server room and puts it right onto an engineer's desk.
And it's not just a concept, right? It went on sale in October for around $4,000.
Yeah, $3,999. And instantly, customized versions were available from partners like Dell, HP, Acer.
That speed is just wild. The integration happens immediately.
And what's really fascinating is seeing how this computing power isn't just staying digital, it's moving into the physical world too, like we hinted at earlier. You see companies like Coco Robotics, they make those little last-mile delivery robots.
Yeah, I've seen those around.
They just tapped a UCLA professor, an expert in this field, to lead a brand new physical AI lab. And their explicit goal, full autonomy.
Huh. Why a dedicated physical AI lab, though? Couldn't they just, hire more software engineers?
Well, the big challenge in robotics isn't just the code, it's the data, specifically the integrity and the sheer complexity of real-world data.
Ah, okay.
Coco has apparently collected millions of miles of operational data from their robots driving around in these really dynamic, complex urban settings.
All those deliveries.
Right. And that data, how a robot navigated some unexpected road work or dealt with a jaywalker, that stuff is gold for training real-world AI systems,
Yeah.
especially for things like robot navigation and what's called reinforcement learning.
So they're using their own operational history as the textbook.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the training foundation for building a truly autonomous future for their robots. It kind of closes the loop, you see. The massive infrastructure investment enables the data collection, which then fuels the drive towards physical autonomy.
That connection makes perfect sense. Hardware investment enabling real-world application.
Yeah. Okay, let's pivot then. Let's go to the customer side and see how all this convergence is changing how we actually buy things. This is where it gets really interesting, I think, with agentic commerce.
Oh, absolutely. This is the concept that should probably have retailers genuinely concerned.
Define that for us. What is agentic commerce?
So basically, it means AI acting as your personal super agent. It doesn't just wait for you to search for something specific. It starts making purchasing decisions proactively for you across different platforms.
Wow. And are people ready for that?
Well, get this. A recent Kearney report found 73% of consumers are already familiar with AI shopping tools. And a huge 60% of shoppers expect to be using some kind of agentic AI within the next year. 60%. That's a massive shift in expectation really fast.
It is. And here's the risk for brands that aren't prepared. These super agents, they operate outside the retailer's control. Your personal agent is programmed to find you the best deal or the best fit or the fastest delivery, right? Regardless of your past brand loyalty.
So loyalty shifts from the store to the algorithm.
Exactly. The loyalty is to the bot's logic, not the brand necessarily.
And we're already seeing partnerships making this real. Walmart, for instance, they partnered with OpenAI, with ChatGPT, right, to let you instantly check out for groceries just by talking to the bot.
Yes. Once you link your accounts, that's rolling out this fall. But interestingly, Walmart also launched its own generative AI assistant called Sparky for product discovery and comparison.
Wait, why both? Are they hedging their bets there?
Oh.
Seems redundant.
Oh, they're absolutely hedging. It's smart, actually. By partnering with ChatGPT, they capture shoppers coming from, the biggest consumer AI agent out there, make sure they stay in the mix. But by developing Sparky in-house, they get a proprietary system they control completely, no vendor lock-in, and they can embed their own business rules, their own inventory intelligence directly into that shopping experience.
Ah, I see. It's both a defensive and an offensive strategy. Smart. This kind of shift feels just as big in search, too. How we find information is changing fundamentally. We're way beyond the old 10 blue links page now.
Oh, yeah. That era is definitely fading. Google's VP of Product, Robbie Stein, he described their whole approach now as converging search with multimodal AI. He talked about 3 core pillars working together.
Okay, let's break those down. What are they?
So first, you've got AI overviews. These are the immediate synthesized natural language answers you see right at the top of the search results page now.
Right, I've seen those.
Second is multimodal search, which just means you can use your phone's camera or an image through Google Lens as the actual search query.
Okay, picture search, basically. And the third pillar was AI mode. That sounds like the big one.
Yeah, AI mode is what they're calling the end-to-end frontier search experience. It's designed to be conversational, turn-based. So you move from just asking a question and getting an answer to having more of an ongoing dialogue.
Hmm.
And critically, it taps into Google's enormous structured knowledge bases. We're talking 50 billion products in their shopping graph, 250 million places and maps, plus, the context of the entire web. Stein calls it less of a ranking tool and more like a unified interactive brain.
So if I ask a really complex multi-part question, it might automatically push me into this conversational AI mode.
That's the idea. Complex multi-sentence queries will trigger an AI mode preview. The system itself decides whether typing, speaking, or even showing it a picture is the best way to interact with that unified intelligence for that specific query.
The input methods are merging.
Exactly. The user experience is converging into just one intelligent process. You don't have to think, should I use Lens or type this? The system aims to just deliver the best result, however you ask.
And, naturally, where there's intelligence and eyeballs, there's monetization coming. Google's expanding ads within those AI overviews, right?
Yep, rolling out to select English-speaking markets by the end of 2025. And they're testing new discovery interfaces, too, like AI-powered trending previews in the Discover feed.
It really confirms AI isn't just changing how we search, but it's fundamentally reshaping how information itself and therefore marketing gets distributed.
Absolutely. And that power to organize and distribute information, it's being mirrored directly inside companies, too. Let's shift gears to enterprise operations because businesses are moving just as fast, maybe faster, to get these AI agents working internally.
Right, you see the big workflow players jumping in,
Yeah.
like Salesforce launching Agentforce 360.
Yes, and interestingly, they're positioning Slack as the main front end, the main place you interact with these AI agents and your customer data.
Okay.
But, a huge challenge with using agents inside a business is predictability. You can't just let them run wild with customer data or internal processes.
No, definitely not. So what guardrails did Salesforce build in? What safeguards do you need before you let an AI run core business functions?
Well, they introduced something called Agent Script. Think of it like a human-readable instruction set written in JSON. It defines the exact logic, the boundaries, the rules for how the agent should behave.
Like a prenup for the AI.
Kind of, yeah. And crucially, they also rely on what they call reasoning models. They actually tap into external intelligence from partners like Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google Gemini for this part.
What does a reasoning model actually do in this context?
It basically forces the AI agent to stop and check its work before it acts instead of just jumping to the most statistically likely answer based on patterns it's seen.
Right.
It has to engage in more contextual logic. It has to kind of think before responding, especially when dealing with complex business scenarios like maybe a really tricky customer support issue. It adds a layer of accountability.
That seems absolutely essential before you trust an agent with anything complex or customer-facing. We're seeing similar orchestration agents popping up in marketing too, right? Like Zeta Global's Athena.
Yeah, Athena is positioned as a super intelligent, natural language, voice-activated agent. Its whole job is to orchestrate actions and provide forecasts directly inside the Zeta marketing platform. It adapts to what the user is trying to achieve and aims to streamline these incredibly complex marketing workflows, like having a digital CMO assistant, basically.
And even for just day-to-day internal productivity, we're seeing these highly targeted AI agents appear in tools we already use, making things a bit easier. Like that new Gemini feature in Gmail, Help Me Schedule.
Oh, yeah, that's pure agentic automation right there. It reads the email thread, understands the context, checks your Google Calendar, checks the other person's suggested times, and then automatically proposes available slots for a meeting between the two of you.
Takes all that tedious back and forth emailing out of the equation.
Completely. And for anyone who feels like they live in meetings, there's the AI teammate bot from Fireflies.ai. That looks like a lifesaver.
What does that one do?
It's a great example of augmenting what humans do in meetings. The bot joins your call, automatically transcribes everything with apparently really high accuracy, handles over 100 languages,
Wow.
provides summaries, action items, and even offers conversation intelligence like it can track who spoke the most or highlight key decisions made, helps improve the meeting itself, and keeps everyone accountable.
Okay, so we've got the hardware foundation being laid at massive scale. We've got customer-facing agents changing shopping and search. We've got enterprise agents automating workflows and helping internally. It feels like this train is moving incredibly fast. Is there anything that could actually stop it or slow it down? What about the data feeding these systems?
Yes. That brings us squarely to what many see as the central bottleneck right now, data readiness. Meaning, you can have the most brilliant AI agent in the world, but if the data foundation it's built on is a fragmented mess, the whole project just stalls out. There's some stark research from MIT on this.
Oh.
Yeah, it suggests something like 95% of corporate AI initiatives fail to actually reach production. And the main reason, disorganized, fragmented data and content.
Yeah, 95% fail. That's huge.
Yeah.
So the intelligence is there, potentially, but the raw material is just chaos.
That's often the reality, yeah. And this is exactly why digital asset management, DAM, is suddenly becoming so strategic. It's evolving into this missing link.
How so? DAM used to be just like a glorified filing cabinet for the creative team, right?
Exactly, it used to be. But now it has to become the genuine marketing backbone because AI needs structured, governed content to work effectively and safely.
Okay.
The DAM system needs to embed information about rights, licensing, even performance intelligence directly into every single asset. Only then can the AI generate compliant, personalized content reliably and at scale.
So it's not just about storing the files anymore. It's about making the data AI ready, organized, and governable from the start.
Precisely. And this requires a strategic shift, moving DAM way beyond just the marketing or creative department. For this to work, you need the CMO and the CIO working together, treating DAM as critical strategic infrastructure.
Because otherwise,
AI just amplifies the existing problems, the data silos, the chaos, the compliance risks. It makes them worse, not better.
okay. So this deep dive has really shown AI becoming the actual infrastructure, the shopping buddy, the operational brain for businesses. It's definitely moved way beyond just being a novelty.
Absolutely. It's woven into the operational fabric now, and that's driving this massive spending and these profound changes in how we interact with technology and commerce.
Right.
And, that rush to integrate AI everywhere, it also demands flexibility, even when it comes to rules and governance. We're actually seeing companies like OpenAI starting to loosen up some of their previously really strict content restrictions.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, for instance, they've indicated they'll start allowing certain types of erotica for verified adults once their age-gating system rolls out later this year, I think in December. Their reasoning is that they feel their new safety tools have sufficiently mitigated the serious mental health issues they were worried about before.
Interesting. So the rules are evolving almost as fast as the tech itself.
They have to, it seems.
Right.
Which brings us to maybe the final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Yeah.
As AI becomes truly ubiquitous, as it starts managing these really complex, sometimes mission-critical tasks for us, scheduling our meetings, orchestrating marketing campaigns, maybe even doing our shopping, how do you balance that? How do you, the user, balance the undeniable convenience and the appeal of personalization with the fundamental need for transparency, for governance, for knowing the data behind the decision is actually reliable and trustworthy, especially when control seems to be shifting away from the retailer or the company you thought you were dealing with and towards this autonomous, sometimes opaque, super agent?